What up guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you some curiosities about the Rio de Janeiro, things that you always want to know. Rio de Janeiro means January River, but the river is actually a bay. Rio de Janeiro, or January River, is a very poetic name for a city with more than 200 rivers running through it. But which river does it refer to? Well, the answer is, none of them. Number 10. It was in January 1502 that Portuguese explorer Gaspar de Lemos first arrived in Rio. Legend has it that Lemos was sailing through Guanabara Bay when he came up with the name for the city, mistaking the bay as the mouth of a big river. Today, some historians dispute the theory, arguing that the Portuguese were too skilled sailors to commit such a mistake, and that the word for river in the 16th century was also used to identify bays. Regardless, the name for Rio de Janeiro stuck. Number 9. There are more than 100 islands in Guanabara Bay. What do the sugar loaf, the statue of Christ the Redeemer, and Copacabana beach postcards have in common? The Guanabara Bay is in the backdrop of all of them. No wonder, it's enormous and goes through no less than 15 different cities. The bay is the second biggest in the country, with its 256 square mile surface, 53 beaches, and more than 100 islands. You will probably visit at least one of them, the biggest one, in fact. Ilha do Governador, or Governor's Island, is where the International Airport of Rio is located. Number 8. Rio's Carnival Party is the biggest carnival in the world. According to the Guinness Book of Records, in 2004 the city's most illustrious party attracted a record 400,000 foreign visitors, becoming the biggest carnival party in the world. Apart from the outside visitors, every year, around 5 million people take over the streets of Rio to participate in hundreds of street parties, called blocos, held by the samba groups. Not to mention the thousands that purchase expensive tickets to watch the acclaimed competitive parades, starring Rio's best samba schools. A party not to be missed. Number 7. Carioca really means white man's house. Carioca is what Rio's locals are called. The word has its origins in the Tupi-Guarani language, used by the indigenous peoples who inhabited this blessed sliver of land long before any European knew it existed. Carioca, or Carioca, is what the Indians called the city the Portuguese colonizers were building in their land. The word means white man's house. Number 6. Rio de Janeiro was almost not the 2016 Summer Olympics host. When Rio de Janeiro was chosen as the host city of the 2016 Summer Olympic Games in 2009, the news was met with a party that attracted thousands to the iconic Copacabana beach. It was the third time the city was trying, and everyone felt like this was Rio's turn. But it almost wasn't. Rio nearly didn't make the 4-city shortlist the International Olympics Committee selected before the final decision. It had a lower grade than Doha, which ended up discarded because of a technicality. Due to the high temperatures in the city during the European summer, Doha had suggested to hold the Olympics in October, but that didn't stick. Clenching to the uncomfortable 6.4 grade given to the city by the IOC, Rio held strong in the competition. And it ended up winning, against all odds. Number 5. Rio de Janeiro has the world's bluest sky. Clear skies, warm sand, a cold drink. Isn't that what everyone wants for their holiday? Well, in Rio you will not only find that, but also the bluest sky in the whole wide world. The statement seems audacious, but it's actually based on a survey done in 2006 by a TV researcher who traveled around the globe in search of the world's bluest sky. 27-year-old Anya Hohenbaum visited 20 different destinations including New Zealand and South Africa on a 72-day trip as part of a competition she had won. In order to get accurate results, she used a special portable spectrometer developed by scientists at the British National Physical Laboratory. It's scientifically approved. Number 4. The statue of Christ the Redeemer was elected one of the world's new 7 wonders. Rio doesn't lack natural beauty for postcards, but its most acclaimed feature is not only man-made, but was also elected one of the new 7 wonders of the world in 2007, alongside masterpieces like the Roman Colosseum and the Taj Mahal. Inaugurated in 1931, as a tribute to Rio's 100th anniversary, the Christ is 98 feet tall, not including the 26-foot pedestal, and the largest Art Deco statue in the world. The statue was financed by Brazilians, designed by a Frenchman, and built from Swedish stones. The result is truly divine. Despite the fact it is struck by lightning a couple times a year, it lives on strong, watching over the citizens of the marvelous city. Number 3. Most of Rio's samba schools are located in favelas. There are more than 1,000 slums, or favelas, in Rio, and almost 1/4 of Cariocas, locals, live in them. Rio's modest residents have been living in favelas since the end of the 19th century, being the most affordable housing option. It was there, in the favelas, that former African slaves and their descendants first created the music style we now know as samba. Nowadays, Most of the city's renowned samba schools that compete in the world-famous parade every carnival are located in favelas, or close by. Mangueira, Salgueiro, and Unidos de Tijuca are some of them. Number 2. Rio is a big city, with more than 6 million inhabitants, but it can feel like a small town, especially when you find yourself in the middle of a forest, under the hard-hitting cascade of a waterfall. The reason for that is Rio is home to the largest urban forest in the world, Floresta de Tijuca. This 33 square kilometer conservation area is the result of reforestation, done in the end of the 19th century, on the order of Brazil's Emperor Dom Pedro II. The idea was to restore the area that had been destroyed by coffee plantations in order to avoid the erosion of the hills that surround the city. Quite a few of Rio's most touristy spots are partly in the Tijuca forest. The Botanical Gardens, Parque Lage, and the Corcovado Mountain are a few of them. Number 1. Rio was once the only European capital outside Europe. Desperate times require desperate measures, at least that's what it was like for Dom João VI. It was 1807, and Napoleon's troops were getting closer and closer to invading Portugal in order to ensure the small coastal country would bow to France's rule. Dom João VI wanted nothing of the sort, and instead packed his bags and moved the whole kingdom to Rio, between 1808 and 1821. When it was safe for the royals to go back home. After getting a taste of being the headquarters of the empire, Rio didn't want to go back to the old ways. Brazil's independence was declared in 1822. Well, I hope I pleased you with this video. If I managed it, leave your feedback about the video, leaving your like and your comment. See you in the next video.